Chale, se volvió a empezar donde nos quedamos. Bueno, ni modo.
Ah,
Pero ahora sí ya.
mhm. Hello, I'm Jose Ruben Hernandez.
Hello, I am Stephanie Elizabeth Sillers.
We're going to tell you about a Mexican film so controversial in its time that it had to be shot secretly.
We are talking about Rojo Amanecer from 1919 and directed by Jorge Fons. This film spoke of a topic so taboo at the time that the government prevented its release for months.
Rojo Amanecer is about the massacre of 68, a traumatic historic event in Mexico where student movements were repressed by the government and the army. This event was kept as a secret, and that's why the film had so many obstacles.
For me, this film was so explicit in the way it depicts events that happened in 68 that made me cry, since many lives and young peoples were lost in that year simply be asking for justice for their student rights. And watching that film when you're 8, uh,
18.
18 to 12 years is strong because you feel identified with the events and wonder how things would have been if you had lived in Tuesdays.
And it's and it is what you say. Justice the representation of the events, which is from a perspective as close as the experience of the protagonist family, that it is impossible not to feel equally overwhelmed, confused, and afraid as the family. It's a story that gets you so caught up in it, it keeps you tense all the time. His way of developing without leaving his apartment and building generates an overwhelming claustrophobia, not to mention the shocking of his essence, both explicit and implicit. It's a film that made me reflect so much about what was going on in his time, so much violence and injustice since then, which continues to this day.
Speaking of claustrophobia, the fact that students had high reminded me a lot for COVID pandemic because if we went out we could get affected and infected. Referring to the students could not go to out because they were killed. Aside from this, remember that in the last scene the soldiers entrained to apartment to kill the students? Linked to that, the family tries to defend their children and as response they kill and the members of the family, except for the younger brother. So much was the emotions that left me in shock and began to cry inconsolably. To imagine of to imagine if something like this happened to my family.
I think that with this, we can see how the story was around the event and the recording of this filming, its impact, and the origin of its controversy. So, we can go concluding this topic.
With this, we can see of the oppression and force that has been expressed by the government, as well as the treatless power of the mess, demanding justice for an unforgettable need.
We hope you enjoyed this talk around this incredible movie, and we see you in the next video.